Hey class, this is just a short little introduction into arrays. We're not actually going to program anything in it, but I will show you one or two things about it, because you may see a question about it. But arrays. Arrays are basically a structure, and I totally thought I selected the box there. There we go. Are totally a structure where you can store, more than one variable. So let's say we have a variable, right? An integer. It holds one number, and that's it. No more than one number. Now, the nice thing about an array is this. It can store, as many numbers as you want. Well, up to a certain limit, of course, but if I want to go ahead and, let's say, create an array that can hold 5 or 6 items, it's not too difficult of a thing to do. The way it's usually visually represented is something like this. So it starts off with 0, 1, 2, 3, let's say 4, and 5. Now, let's say I name this thing array, like that. So when I created it, I named it array. Now if I create a variable, just a single int, this will hold one number. But this structure here can actually hold hundreds, thousands, millions of numbers, strings, characters, whatever I want. So let's say I made an integer array. I could plug in numbers. Now you'll notice these little numbers, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the left. This is what's called the index. And it just basically shows the location of where you are in the array. You can think of an array kind of like an apartment building. Each of these numbers is a location of apartment in that building. So I can put stuff in each of those. You could also think of it as lockers, maybe, would be an easier analogy. Uh, each of these lockers is numbered 0 through 5, and I can open up a locker and put one thing in it, an integer. Now I can't just say array. I have to actually say array 0, array 1, to specify which location I'm pulling from. So, I can put in a number here and another one here. So now I can actually put in several numbers, and we can actually pull from them, add to them, do whatever we want. I can have a whole list here. This array would be considered size 6. So if anyone asks the size of it, it would be 6 because there are 6 slots, 6 numbers in it. So basically it's going to start at 0 and go to 1 minus the max size, which is 5. So it always starts at 0. There are some languages, I think like Python or something, where it starts at 1, but almost every single language, arrays start at 0. So if I were to say, print system.out.println array 3, right? That would be the third location here, and it would print out a 7. But I have to specify which location. I can't just say print array, because then it's going to print this weird gibberish if you try to do that. Basically, an array is a pointer that points to where this whole building is. It would be kind of like trying to deliver a pizza to the building instead of a specific apartment in the building. The pizza guy's going to get there and be like, okay, where's Steve? Mm-hmm. There may be 50, 1,000 rooms. He's not going to know where to go. So you need a specific address, and that's what these numbers here are for. Now how that looks in code, if I just pull up a little bit of a, let's just move this down some, or maybe not. Let's see here. Aha. I'll use this one. Alright, so ignore the code for now. An integer array. If I just set int num, equals 0, it holds one integer. An integer array, however, will look like this. new int 6. If I make it the same size as the picture, this would make an array that just has basically a bunch of zeros in it with 6 slots. If I want to assign something to one of these, I would say, numbers 0 equals 3. And I can put a number in that slot. If I want to print, I can't just say numbers. It'll allow it, but what you're going to get once you get through all the other stuff is this right here. And this is just a pointer value. I have to actually specify, in this case, 0, what location. And then I can print the number that's in that location. And again, ignore that a little bit there. But this is basically how you would kind of declare an array. Of course, I could declare it one other way. Numbers 1. If I wanted to do it slightly shorter, like that. And then it will actually put in the numbers in this array. That's slot 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I'm not going to ask you to write any of this code yet, but do know what an array looks like and kind of have an idea how it works. That's effectively it. Kind of this little 2 or 3 lines of code would be useful to know too. But that's effectively all I'm going to ask you to do. No writing programs. That's for Java too. So if you have any questions or anything, just let me know.